What's up guys, I've got another budget projector I've been checking out. Today, I've got the Vankyo V600. This is a native 1080p projector and like I said, it's budget retailing for only $250 at the time of this video. Let's go on, get it unboxed and see what kind of stuff we get inside. Here we have an HDMI cable, the power cord, some screws, an AV adapter, and the remote control. I'm going to be projecting the V600 on a 106-inch Elite Screens motorized Cinegray 5D projector screen. I'll have a review for the screen in another video. For source, I'll be using a Roku Premiere Plus streaming stick. As a reference point, my normal projector is a Sony 695ES 4K projector. It's obviously in a different class than the Vankyo, but it's always good to have a reference point to go back to. When you power on the projector, you'll have to align the screen using the dials up top. The focus ring is the outer dial. Just turn it till the image is sharp. The inner dial is the keystone. Turn this till the image is square with the screen. Now let's take a look at the inputs. Around back we have inputs for VGA, 2 USB ins, 2 HDMIs, and there is a single speaker right on the bottom. On the side is the SD card slot, the AV in, and a 3.5mm output if you want to connect this to external speakers. Now onto the settings menu. Here we have some picture presets, or you can change them yourself under User. We have some temperature presets. I thought medium looked the most natural, so I kept it on that. Here's the aspect ratio settings, which we get a bunch of. I just kept this on auto, but you can change this depending on what you're watching. This is some noise reduction settings. Projection direction lets you place this in a number of different ways. And here you can reduce the display size, which is kind of like a digital zoom. Now onto the sound settings, you get a few presets here as well. You can change the balance or have it on auto. You can see here you get a bunch of different on-screen display languages. You can reset all the settings as well. For blending, this changes the on-screen display opacity. You have OSD timeout and firmware update using the SD card or USB in, and that's pretty much it for settings. This does have a media player built in where you can view movies, music, photos, and text, but I wasn't able to get any video files to play. I always just got the unsupported file pop-up every time. As for image quality, the center of the screen was sharp, but the outer edges were noticeably softer and slightly out of focus. You can see how the edges of the text and graphics are a little blurred. You should also keep in mind if you do use the keystone, if the dial isn't perfectly centered, then the edges will become even more blurrier and, at least to me, very unwatchable. So try and keep the projector as level as possible without having it angled. As for everyday viewing, I ended up watching some shows on Netflix that have some excellent color variation. You can see here the color looks decent, but it does tend to get blown out when some bright white highlights do appear. You can tone this down by using the brightness and contrast slider, but then the image just gets darker, so you'll have to find a compromise. As for black levels, you can see how the black letterbox bars are gray rather than black. This is a very budget projector, so this isn't really much of a surprise. Now, I'm not a competitive gamer or anything, but I didn't notice anything detrimental during gameplay. As for overall brightness, I thought it was adequate, but not one of the brighter ones that I've tested. And if you do try to adjust the brightness level to get better black levels, it'll just dim down even lower. If you're using this without any external speakers, this does get pretty loud.
I'm interested in here. Yeah. Tell me about your starter.
Well, this is a technique that is preserved in my family for 62 years.
I should also mention that the fan on the projector is pretty loud as well. It also throws out a fair amount of heat, so if you're using this in a small bedroom, it might actually start warming up the room. Now, keeping expectations in check and knowing this is only a $250 projector, you're not going to get blown away by the picture quality. I think it's satisfactory for what you're getting, like if you want to have an outdoor movie night or if your kids are having a sleepover or something like that. If something were to happen to it, it's not going to be that hard on the wallet. If you're a discerning videophile, then you already know this isn't for you. But for a small investment, you do get a huge image, and you might find that this could be the gateway into a larger world of higher-end projectors. So let us know your thoughts on these budget Projos. Do you have one, and what do you think of them? Well, thanks for watching. Give us a like if you found this video useful. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.